And welcome to another episode 2, season 3, all Rell and Good, with a Michigan standout number 40 out of Riviera Beach, Florida, 85-86, Big Ten champ, 4-year starter, Richard Rellford, who people say had a lot of bounce. Bounce. That's what V. Carlton Valentine. Yeah, Rich had a lot of bounce. That means you can jump, something I
Yes,
cannot
that's what it
relate
means.
to. Obviously, it was so great seeing you and my two Crawford Podcasting Wolverine Basketball co-host Chris Young and yourself. We got together over at my fraternity brother's suite there, Kevin Byer, and it was at halftime. We were feeling all right, a little skittish about the Wolverines. We're going to get into the nuts and bolts of this. As a former standout player, you can interpret a lot better than me what went wrong. But just give me your overall impression. First, of being back at Chrysler Arena with the crowd and the pep band and normalcy. Okay. What was that like? And then talk about the overall impressions of the team.
Well, it's always nice, Tom, to go back to Chrysler Arena. I have a lot of great and fond memories there, and also I got a chance to see my teammate Antoine Jobert. So it was a wonderful time to be there. Now, as far as the game goes, I was happy and I was sad.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand sometimes how refs never give us calls.
Yeah.
Never give us calls.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, as a player, well, we know how referees are. Now, as far as the team go, I was surprised that we wasn't really playing together because I feel Hunter is the key.
Yeah.
Hunter Dickerson is the one that we have to run our offense through, because if we run it through Hunter, he's such a great passer. He's going to find the open guy.
Yeah.
I think I was also expecting for us to shoot better.
Yeah.
We didn't shoot better from the three.
Yeah.
I think with time and knowing Jawan the way I do, they'll get the shooting better. That was my biggest overall kind of thing, that I needed us to shoot better.
Yeah. Let's count the ways for us. First of all, let me go on this premise, Richard Rellford. And you obviously you played at Michigan with 30 plus games a year. You know how long the season is. You know the involvement of the maturation of a team, especially when you got a lot of freshmen.
Yeah.
I mean, I think back to you. I'm going to do this quick anecdote. I said 1982. Okay, I was living in Houston. I was a sports writer. I fly home for Christmas, and I got to get down to see this quote unquote Fab Five. All these new freshmen. Okay. And this team was, I don't know who you were playing. It was a non-conference game. You won the game. I can't remember who it was against, but I was telling my one of my college buddies. I said, we get all caught up in all this freshman talent, but it's going to take a long time. And you guys, you didn't make the NIT or NSC2A that year. You made the NIT, I think maybe the next year or something like that. You won the NIT, and then you got the NCAA tournament your junior, senior years. But it takes time, and with all these new moving parts, Caleb Houston is a freshman. Yeah, he's great, but it's going to take and Devontae Jones is a transfer from Coastal Carolina. Yeah, and Mike Smith was great, but it's going to take a little bit longer for him. But there's something to be said about getting your moving parts merged together, right? Before we get into the details on this.
Yes.
Did you experience the same thing?
Oh, yeah, because what's going on is, everybody makes mistakes when they look at the team during the preseason.
Yeah.
Those preseason games are just that, preseason. It's trying to prepare us for the Big Ten. And I know I hear a lot of people talking about the team. You know what? It's been, 3-4 games. These guys will gel. Jawan has a lot of talent.
He does.
And Houston is going to be a great player. The other kid I thought was, oh my goodness, the one who plays with Hunter when Hunter goes out.
Moussa Diabate, number 14.
Diabate. Yeah. I love him as a defensive player, and he can score on the inside.
Right.
I think that the other kid coming off of the bench, Colip, I thought he was a really good guard as well to give Jones a break when he needed him and Eli.
Kobe Buffkin, the kid out of Grand Rapids.
Right, Kobe, right. And
Christian, okay. A lot, I'm with you on that. He played about 8 minutes, and he's smooth and everything. There's no question about that. But before we get into that, I want to get in, a kid I've known since he was a kid, Brandon Johns Jr. And this is his 4th year, okay? And you've been bullish on him. I've been bullish on him. He played 27 minutes. Let me just start out with the positives. When Brandon's in there, defense works for them on the front line. It really does. But offensively, it doesn't. And it's like that quote, that term, you got to finish, I wish Brandon could finish around the hoop better. Wouldn't you agree with that, Rich?
Tom, I agree with you 100%. My biggest things with Johns was on Tuesday night was he wasn't finishing.
Yeah.
He missed a dunk underneath the basket, and I was totally surprised.
Yeah.
I think he'll finish as well. Like I said, these, guys are trying to get together for the first time, and Brandon is trying to figure out if he's a better starter or a better guy coming off the bench.
Yeah.
He has to figure that out, because I thought that he would have made a bigger difference because those layups that he missed, yeah, we were up 10 in the second half, but we need every basket you can get against those Big East teams. They're pretty tough. Yeah,
what bothered me, and this should grind you as being you're a glass eater at Michigan as well. You gobbled up the boards quite a bit, offensive board. I mean, the fact that Seton Hall got 9 offensive rebounds, over me. I mean, it's like, wow, how does that happen? That really bothered me. They gave up 39 points in the second half, Rich. I mean, they're a better defensive team than that. And then back to, now going back to the individual thing, 33 minutes out of Devontae Jones, 2 critical perimeter. He's fouling a guy, who hit those 2 free throws, way away from the hoop that put Seton Hall ahead. I mean, why are you following a guy when he doesn't pose a threat to you that far away from the hoop? Is that just lack of concentration or what?
Not only is it lack of concentration, I'm sure in the conference that he played in a year ago was nothing like the Big East. And it's definitely nothing like the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And I always worry about when you get guys in for the first time and they play against talent that they've never played against.
Yeah.
I understand he was a great player in his conference and conference player of the year and all these things, but it's different when you go to the bigger conferences and the bigger schools.
Yeah.
Now, will he adjust? Yeah, he'll adjust. I like those size guards like Jawan because, I think of all the colleges that have these small guards. We had Xavier Simpson.
Yeah.
Xavier Simpson was totally different from Jones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Xavier went to the hole a lot. Jones may be a better shooter. We just haven't seen him shoot as much, but I think he'll come around. I'm not going to be really critical of my guys because I know how it is when you're new to the process. Yeah, well, I mean, 12 rebounds Devontae Jones got. He got a lot of those 50-50 balls. I'm going to give him a ton of credit on that. But 4 of 10 from the field. And those he's foul prone. He fouled out of the game. Yes. He's foul prone. And then T. Will, number 5, Terrence Williams III, who comes in for Brandon and came in late in the game. And then, missed a critical front end 1-and-1. And we talked about free throws last time. The free throws on a whole wasn't that bad, 10 and 12. But they improved that. But when it came to critical time, obviously the missing that front end when he had to nail down 2. And you know what? I mean, they lost the game many, many ways. It just wasn't that. We know that. Right. So that frustrated me. Diabate, he's not as good of defender as Brandon is. I'll say that when he's young, but he swats at a lot of stuff. But I think Brandon's a better defender. And then you're right about Hunter. I mean, when Hunter goes out, our offense goes out completely. That's just the way it is. And not only that, the physical play goes. Yeah. Because Hunter is physical. And we saw the big kid, the 7-foot kid from Seton Hall. We saw how big he was. Oh, yeah. Hunter was moving him around like it was nothing. Yeah. But I also say the reason I said stuff about the referees in the beginning, because the one play sticks out to me that I think was a big difference is when they tackled Hunter. And no foul was called. Oh, I know. That upset me because, it only takes a play. to change the course of a game.
Yeah.
And that helped change it. But I also think that the free throws down the stretch kind of hurt us a little bit. But I promise you, I understand. Juwan I guarantee you, they're in the gym today and shooting free throws.
Well, yeah. Well, beyond that, my bigger concern is the free throw. So I'm back. Actually, not worried about free throw, at least for the day. I mean, because they improved on that. They didn't get to the line enough.
Right.
I mean, Crape, Seton Hall had 8 more free throw attempts. But I'm going back to the 3-ball thing that was an issue last year, and in 2018, actually, it's not like Michigan in 2018 when they got to the final. I mean, they had Duncan Robinson and Isaiah Livers. But it's not like anybody else could hit the 3 on that team. Charles Matthews couldn't hit the 3. Teskey couldn't hit the 3. And Xavier certainly couldn't hit the 3.
No.
And so it's not like you have to have 3-ball guys or Jordan Poole to come out of and ignite your team. Okay, but my point back to 3 of 15 from beyond the arc, and I'm trying to figure out who's a good perimeter shooter on this team. I mean, other than obviously Eli Brooks. I mean, Eli and Hunter had good games. Everybody else did not have a good game.
Right.
Everybody else had a subpar below game. But Eli can't be the guy. I mean, Eli logged 38 minutes. That's a lot of minutes. And Caleb Houston logged 38 minutes and got 4 points. So I mean, I can be Mr. Negative here, and poke holes in this thing. Sometimes when I look at some of these metrics, Rich, it's like, how did they stay within 2 points of this team?
Well, you know what? I think Houston will get better.
Yeah.
I think he has to adjust as well. I was a little surprised because he's a really good shooter, I think.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
But what I want from him more, Tom, is for him to go to the basket like he did.
Yeah.
I think he makes a big difference going to the basket.
Yeah.
And he didn't go as much as he should have.
Yeah, he did against Prairie View, but that's Prairie View, and I mean, there were even parts of that Prairie View game the other night that I thought they were sloppy down the stretch a little bit. And then the Buffalo game, Buffalo's a good team. They're going to win the MAC. We talked about that last, they're going to win the MAC. So that didn't surprise me. But they squandered a big lead in that game. They had a 17-point lead in that game at halftime. So in this game, they had an 11-point lead with about, halfway through the second half and everything.
11 minutes left.
As a player, do you look up at the scoreboard or not?
Oh, yeah. You look at the scoreboard.
Okay. So when you see, okay. So when you were up by, in that scenario, 11, 12, did you have a different feel did you play differently than if you were up by 4?
Well,
what's the difference mentally as a player?
Well, when you're up by 11, you get lackadaisical. When you're up by 4, you got to focus more.
Yeah.
What they have to do is put it together.
Yeah.
And you have to say to yourself, because we did this too in 85 and 86. You have to say, if you're up by 11, let's try to go up by 12.
Yeah.
Let's try to go up by 13.
Yeah.
Let's go up by 14. You have to keep wanting to go further. I talked to Antoine about this today. Me and Antoine was talking about this today.
Did you?
We have good shooters, but we have so many other things that we have to work on because the baskets will come. I just think we have to play better D, and that'll come as well. But little chippies, the little layups around the basket, the 50-50 balls.
Yeah.
We have to win those. And my thing is, especially at home, Tom, especially at home, because you got the crowd. And like you said, this was the first crowd in a while.
I know. This is absolutely. I mean, the Creighton game, not Creighton game, but the Buffalo game, that was good. And they raised the banner and all that good stuff. You can't, my look at this game with Seton Hall, and Seton Hall, I'm going to tell you what, the way they defend the perimeter, they're going to be in the NCAA tournament. I'm not saying they're going to win the Big East, but they're a good team.
Oh, they are.
They're a good, and they're a mature team. They're older than Michigan. When you look at all the workable parts of the personnel. So, you got to take, you got to consider that. And we're sitting here right now. How do we evaluate who's any good anyway? I mean, we're speculating on. They've got this Caleb Houston, this 5-star who can shoot. McCormick tells everybody, say, hey, I saw him in practice, man. Boom, 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 boom. We buy into this stuff. I mean, and obviously, Tim thinks that, and he'll probably be a great player. But it's so easy to get sucked into this stuff when your team's ranked 4th in the country the way they were the other night. Although they were only an 8.5-point favorite, so it's not like Vegas perceived that Michigan was going to rock and roll in this game and win it easy. Right. So moving forward now, they got a lot of tough games. I mean, they got to go to Vegas and play. Get this, and they play UNLV. Okay, and UNLV is 3-0. And UNLV has beaten. In fact, I got the schedule here in front of me. They beat Gardner-Webb by 6.
Right.
They beat Cal by 3, and they beat North Dakota State by 2. Okay. So then I'm looking, and they're playing. Michigan's playing them at 9:30 Pacific time, 12:30. So you got that element of it. But I will be really, really disappointed, especially coming off a loss, if Michigan doesn't blow UNLV off the court. Right.
Well, you know what? UNLV is going to be tough. They're not going to be a pushover. And see, this is what I like about Juwan. Juwan is not playing pushover teams. That's what's going to make us tougher in the Big Ten.
That's true.
This is what we need. Now, going to Vegas, it's going to be, you're going to have a lot of distractions.
You think? And you're playing one of those, you're not playing over at the Thomas and Mack. You're playing for this game. You're playing in one of these hotel casino arenas that are all over the place. They all seat like 15,000. It's crazy. I mean, Vegas is just freaky. Okay. It's this new concept of playing in these hotels. Okay. So that, you're right. For the young guys that are going to Vegas, I mean, some of these guys haven't even been on an airplane, maybe. Right. Who knows? I mean, other than their recruiting trip. You're right about that. But then they'll probably play Arizona, on Saturday night. And Arizona, Arizona's good. So if they get 2 W's out of this thing, that will be good. Then, then they got Tarleton State. They got a Cupcake at home, and then they got to go down to Chapel Hill to play North Carolina. And then they got, and not to get too far ahead of ourselves, and then, 2 weeks from Saturday, they got San Diego State. Brian Dutcher, you know him.
Yes, I do. Brian.
Brian's coaching that team. He's doing a hell of a job. You know why? They defend. They defend well. That's going to be a tough game. Michigan's got some tough games ahead. Then the Big Ten starts. It's crazy.
Juwan is not playing with this schedule.
No.
This schedule is made for him to get ready for the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Because you know what? You could have put some cupcakes in there, a lot more, but he didn't. He put in teams that he knows that's going to be in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
And so I feel like if we can get a couple wins out there in Vegas, it can change everything.
Yep. Now, Michigan out-rebounded Seton Hall 39-33.
Yep, 39-33.
Okay, that's good. I'm looking at all this stuff. And the other element is, and the turnovers are even in this game, 11-11. Michigan having 11 turnovers, that's not so bad.
No.
That's acceptable. But what I'm concerned about, a lot of guys are logging a lot of minutes. 33 for Jones, 38 for Caleb Houston, and 38 for Eli Brooks, who is the glue of this team, along with Hunter, obviously. 31 for Hunter. Hunter picked up a foul in the first half, and he sat down. But look at Hunter, Rich, 8 of 11.
Yes.
If you get the big fella the ball, he will finish.
Tom, he is a top-notch finisher.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And I just feel that he will be more amazing.
Yeah. So
that's how I feel.
Yeah. When you look at Diabate, and he's skinny and everything, 6'11", what does he need to work on, do you think, for Michigan? Did I lose you? Did I lose you, Rich? Can you hear me? Oh, I lost him. We're going to hold on here, folks, until Rich comes back. Here he comes back. Hey, Rich, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Tom.
All right. Your voice went away, and I'm sticking with the recording here. I just deviated a little bit here. Maybe somebody called you to knock you off your phone. What is
they always call to sell something.
Yeah. What does Diabate, before we close here, what does Diabate, number 14, the freshman, 6'11", what does he need to work on?
I think he needs to work on his post stuff around the basket.
Okay.
Because I like his defensive prowess. I like his going after every ball. But when you're around that basket, young fella you got to put it in the hole. You're 6'9", 6'10".
Yeah.
You got to put it in the hole. We got to be able to go to you, and you have to finish.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no, and that's when I look at some of the stats right here, being out, giving up the putbacks, that was annoying. And I just didn't think they defended as well in the second half. Hey, we're 3 games in. They're 2-1. It's high ceiling, raw potential, all that good stuff. It was a great environment. I thought the fans were into it when I thought it was a decent crowd. I mean, we're still here in November, and people are not really. when you're playing at Michigan, you weren't playing games this early.
Right.
I mean, you didn't play until after Thanksgiving, if I remember right.
You're right. We didn't play this early. That's why these are all extras, I feel. These games before Thanksgiving, these are extras.
Yeah. But they all add up. And when you're playing, in the Gavitt games, when you're playing the ACC Big Ten tournament, you're representing the league, and you're also those are going to be calibrated when it comes to seeding in March. Well, let's look at the resume for the Wolverines: key wins, key losses, or let's say Seton Hall. Hey, Seton Hall picked up a big win over Michigan. Number 1 seed coming up. Whatever. I mean, you're going to be looking at that stuff. So they all do add up. But the good news is there's a lot of time to mold this team. This team might be a February developing team as opposed to a January developing team. And unfortunately, in the first week of January, they have 2 important home games: Michigan State and Purdue. And so that's that line in the sand. This team has got to be ready. So
I think with these, going down to play Carolina, going to play in Vegas, all those are big time experience games.
Yeah.
These are teams that will prepare you for the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the ACC is tough, but the Big East will have tough teams as well. But we have to be prepared. And all these games are just that, man, because I don't think any teams that we play are better than the Big Ten's conference.
No.
I don't. No. And I think everybody that we play to prepare, that's all it is. Just prepare.
Yeah.
And we will be okay. I do. I'm not going to put anything on these first 3 games. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to watch these kids grow. And that's what I love doing.
All right. I love your attitude, Rich. Richard Rellford, former Wolverine, number 40 for the Wolverines out of Riviera Beach, Florida. So great again to see you on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday night? Yeah, Tuesday night. Tuesday. It's been a long week. And we're going to see you over there at Chrysler again. And next week we'll talk more. We'll break down what happened in Vegas mid part of next week and go from there. And, one game at a time. And that's the only way you can approach it.
That's all, Tom. 1 game at a time, baby.
All right, Rich. Well, great seeing you again. And have a great weekend. Go Blue. Cheer those Wolverine football team on against Maryland. Get ready for Ohio State. So we are going to bleed maize and blue. All right. See you, my friend.